We have Edison back again for another show. Anyone who's not familiar, Edison was with us a few months ago. He also appears in our first documentary, Ancestral Voices, Esoteric African Knowledge. He also has his own organization called Ancestral Essence, where he does a whole bunch of things, including courses, oils, everything, you name it. And it's always a pleasure to speak to Brother Edison because he just has so much spiritual wisdom. And every time I speak to you, I'm just like, wow. So if you're prepared to be wowed again, and if you have any questions, we're literally going to go straight into Q&A today because we've done the whole interview thing. So we're like, we just want to get to the meat. We just want to get straight to the core. So welcome back, Edison, and thank you.
Thank you, Rona. Thanks for having me. I look forward to today. Let's see what comes up. I said people should bring their curiosity so we can see where everyone is. And hopefully we can answer it in another way.
So I'm actually going to start.
Go ahead.
We shared a question on our page yesterday, which was created by another Facebook user. Unfortunately, I can't remember his name at the moment, but we shared it on our page. And it was saying, his question was, is there a difference between past lives and multiple realities, or are they one and the same? Are they separate? You know, obviously time is a construct. So do we have past lives, or are they happening simultaneously in different dimensions? So I'm sorry to go straight in, but this is the caliber that we're going for today. Do you know what I
mean? Like all things, you have to build a picture first.
Yeah.
So what is a past life? Essentially, one of your other lives. All of us have been here before, and we hold the knowledge of all the lives we've been through before we actually get here. When you look at a child, you say you've been here before because you know that the child has ways and characters that could not have been created in this life. They just haven't lived long enough. So many of us, especially when we're in moments of stress, draw on knowledge from a part of ourselves that we didn't know existed. And we come up with answers where we say, my God, where did that come from? And it probably came from one of your other lives. So the concept of past lives and different versions of you, you can get up to a point where you have access to this information at will and these characters at will. Now, parallel lives and parallel dimensions, you would have to first appreciate what is this dimension. And is this dimension just a game that you're in at this current time, and you focused on the narrative, the story, and everything that is pertaining to you, but you also have other versions of you playing in different similar stories and different similar steps. We have an understanding when we get to the higher echelons of our different more advanced courses where we get you to understand that effectively you are one of many of you, and your soul creates basically more than one of you, even in this dimension at one time. There's a meditation that we use where we ask you to go up into a room in your mind and walk into a room of mirrors. And as you go to each mirror, you look and see another version of yourself operating in this life in a totally different avatar. A totally different body. You can see in the background these people that are you, same consciousness, but playing out different stories, because your soul doesn't actually need to be playing out just one of you in one story at one time. It can play many. It's just that, can your mind handle it? And can you separate yourself from the emotional idea of who you are? So there are parallel lives, there are past lives. And once you get control of your consciousness, you can play all the roles with all your full capability.
Woo! Imagine that, people. This is the first question of the show.
Thank you. Start me off warm. It's so
the energy's high. Edison, that was a brilliant breakdown. And it actually reminds me of a conversation we had years ago. And you told me that that we assume that when you die and you're reborn, that you're going to be reborn into the future. And then you told me, you were like, nah, you can be reborn and you could be way back in the past somewhere. I was like, wow. And that just blew my mind. So I was just like, wow.
Well, if all the dimensions are taking place at the same time, then all you are is entering into another dimension. Your consciousness chooses the avatar, just so that you can actually play out and see all the people you've designed that you want to see in that lifetime. So no, there's the hardest thing is when they've got everyone tricked on this concept of time, because we age ourselves consciously. The fact that every day comes and the sun, the earth apparently rotates, so we have the concept of day and night. We are the ones who effectively then add the concept that we've aged a day. We haven't traveled anywhere. We haven't gone anywhere. Our body hasn't gone through any additional pain. The fact that you travel from one part of the country to another, your body hasn't physically aged in that way. So why would you age from the planet traveling around the sun? It's you who subconsciously ages yourself every day with the idea that you've aged. So you're building that program into yourself, and you're creating a sense of, unfortunately, either wisdom or fatigue as a result of that idea.
Wow, that's very powerful. And what you just said about age, what I picked up on that as well is it also ties into what you believe. So if you actually believe in the concept of aging, then that starts to manifest for you. And then it just goes to speak on other aspects of our lives, that what we choose to believe in, especially when we have strong attachments to that belief, that we can be bringing it onto ourselves. And as we know, that can be a positive or negative belief. And so it's very careful to be, to be mindful of what you believe in. So,
Well,
wow.
this is the deeper aspect of what we're really trying to get to.
Mhm.
As the creator, you create your experience and you create how you feel about your experience. So we want you to get to that point where you realize not only every pain or every joy is created by yourself, but even when you're angry and when you're sad, that is also created within yourself. So your aging is due to the unfortunate things that you create within yourself and your organs not being able to handle them. So you're the one, unfortunately, creating the poison that is damaging yourself. And your aging is a result of your body being unable to match your health against the consistent damage that you're doing.
Mhm. Wow.
So
I
that
can,
aging, unfortunately, it's nothing to do. If you had someone in a coma, they wouldn't physically age because they wouldn't know time to generate an aging cell within them.
wow. That's so interesting. I've never even thought of that before.
Hmm.
Oh man, I can't believe it. We're like 10 minutes into this conversation. There is literally no questions coming in from the audience. Everyone's just like, wow. So please send through more questions. We can go in. But that coma one has got me.
Yeah, you've
That's
got no
very
reason
powerful.
to age yourself. So you'll come out looking younger, and everyone has aged around you because they've had the stress of their own lives and mind, and the impacts of their thoughts and feelings hit their organs, and their bodies or their organs have degenerated as a result of their thoughts and stress. So unfortunately, you dig your grave with your mouth, but you think yourself to death.
Jeez. Woo, that's powerful. Okay, so we do have a question from Rashid. I'm going to put you on
Okay.
screen. And Edison, if you can give us some more enlightenment on this mirror ritual that you mentioned.
Okay. To be fair, there is an aspect, I think it's in the intermediate class that we have. And we gather everyone through stages. So in the foundation, we get you to have a much more better relationship with your ancestors to the point where, as I speak to you, you speak to them. And they carry you through the stages of the course. To at the end of the course, we teach you how to speak in your own language. Anyhow, in the second course, we get you into dealing with your ancestral council. So this is a place where we have meditations that you literally will find yourself in a room created by yourself with around a table where you're sitting at the head, and you invite all your ancestors to come and sit around that table. Once you're in that place, you're now in a situation where you can have discussions with your ancestors about all the different dynamics of your life. But once you start to do that, you start to realize the idea of you that you have in your external world is a fictitious character. It's a part that you're playing in a play. And the real you, the essence of you, is something that can exist in many dimensions simultaneously. You know, whenever you're speaking to someone on the phone, are you with the person or is the person with you? The fact that you two are speaking to each other, you've created a separate portal where both of you now exist in that portal. And the locations of your body is where you are, but the locations of your consciousness is in that portal having that conversation. Anyhow, that said, the concept really is to get to that room with the mirror. So once we've set up your ancestral council, we set up a way in which you can walk into all these different dimensions, your past lives, your parallel lives, your let me think, traveling to dimensions to collect your armies. There's so many different aspects of who you are and what you are once you separate yourself as a consciousness. And one of these things is a room where we want you to become aware that your soul per se that sends you to this dimension. It sends you to this dimension to play out a part and play out a role. It's not necessarily just sent one of you. It sent many of you, females, males, all different colors, all different genders. It's not operating on this concept of the politics that I've created here. Your soul has its own politics. So effectively, in this room of the mirrors, you can actually walk in and see all the mirrors on the side of the walls. Walk in there and have a look in the mirror, and what you're looking at is your own reflection in another avatar.
Wow.
And as you look at that avatar, you'll see initially it's looking at you doing your movements, all that stuff. So you look into the background and see what storyline they're in. Because the truth is, human beings haven't evolved in the last 2,000 years. All that's evolved is their stories, is the furniture, all the things that surround them. But the same things, same quest in life, to live, to get married, to have kids, to have a roof over your head. This doesn't change in whatever culture you're in. So the different personalities are providing more data for your soul, but also enabling you to clear as many debts that you've acquired in previous lives as possible as well. And going to the people where you've harmed and you've hurt so that you can go back to recompense and balance out your energy based on you now recognizing that the way that you was in the past, you've had to now go and pay in the future. And you need that cleared before you can move to higher echelons within yourself.
Woo!